Okay. This is called the Taylor Prism. 691 BC. This is the original of what we were supposed to see downstairs. Now, there is a little confusion because some people say, yes, but they're both original. So, who knows? Nonetheless, this is the prism that refers to Sennacharib having to go home to Nineveh to repulse something that's happening back there, but it doesn't say why he had to go home. But it corroborates 2 Kings 19 in Isaiah chapter 37. It also refers to Hezekiah by name, proving that Hezekiah is historical. And refers to the fact that though he went back, they didn't give the name of who was attacking. That only the Bible gives. On the back at the very bottom is one of the Babylonian Chronicles. Now there's thousands of these Babylonian Chronicles that are owned by the British Museum. They're all down in the basement or they're in other buildings. There's about 17 buildings around the city where they have artifacts, big warehouses. The Babylonian Chronicles, remember, is where we found out about Sennacharib returning home after this failure that happened in Jerusalem, and his two sons kill him, which also corroborates what the biblical account says. It also refers to 615, when the Babylonians come to Nineveh and destroy Nineveh with fire and water by opening up the coastal river, the gates of the coastal river, and drowning out the city, supporting what Nahum prophesied. That's also from the Babylonian Chronicles. But something more recent has happened that I find is rather exciting. In 2007, in the summer of 2007, the Babylonian Chronicles are written in cuneiform. The script is cuneiform, but the language is Ugaritic. And there aren't many people that know and can read Ugaritic. Actually, you can study it here at the School of Warrington African Studies. They do teach it here in London. But there are very few people in the world that read it, for obvious reasons. What's the purpose? It's a dead language. No, people don't read or write in Ugaritic anymore. But this one scholar from Germany came here in the summer of 2007, and he wanted to look at some of these Babylonian Chronicles. He can read Ugaritic, and so they opened up the drawer. He took out one tablet. After about 15 minutes, he turned around and said, "Had anybody read this before?" I said, "No, why?" He says, "This refers to the eunuch of Nebuchadnezzar who came and is referred to in Jeremiah chapter 39. The first time we have found any corroboration for this eunuch, who is the great general of Nebuchadnezzar that actually led the battles for him. He's referred to there in Jeremiah 39. There, within 15 minutes, he found corroboration for that. It was all over the papers the next day. The greatest find in the last 100 years, and I'm scratching my head there and say, well, there's thousands of more you can read. Why don't you read all of them? And I said, we need people to start learning Ugaritic. You can learn it right here. If any of you guys want to learn it, go and start reading those tablets. They're open. You can read them for yourself. You can do a doctorate out of it, and you can probably recreate much of Jeremiah for us. Because he can find that significant evidence in just 15 minutes. Can you imagine what else we can find if we look at all the other tablets there? It's just waiting for someone to go and read it.
How many tablets?